Running a business shouldn't feel like flying blind, but for many business owners and their advisors, it does. Financial blind spots, operational inefficiencies, strategies based on guesswork, and without a structured way to assess performance, decisions are delayed, or worse, high risk. Introducing Accurate Edge, a smart assessment platform built for businesses, advisors, and institutions. It blends qualitative insight, quantitative analysis, and integrity checks to reveal what's real, what's risky, and what needs work. At the core is the Edge Index, a powerful performance score that reflects business strength, financial health, and alignment. From startup readiness to acquisition due diligence, Accurate Edge enables consistent evaluations, benchmarking, and focused action. Whether you're building a business or backing one, make better decisions in real time, faster, and smarter. Visit us at www.accurateedge.co.za to get started. Accurate Edge, powered by AWS.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Onele Sivuka. I'm the Public Relations and Marketing Officer for Development Hub. Thank you very much for making time and joining us in today's session, where we will be talking about how Accurate Edge is changing the way businesses measure success. Our guest speaker for today is Dr. Andre du Preez, who is the founder and director at Psyquapro, a strategic advisor and enterprise development firm. He holds a PhD in business administration and MBA in general management from the University of Free State. He is certified with Lean Six Sigma Black Belt with a strong background in business rescue and turnaround strategy. So drawing from this, he then developed Accurate Edge. Without wasting any more time, help me welcome Dr. Andre du Preez.
From the start. Okay. My apologies for a little bit of a technical hitch there, but I just want to say thank you very much this morning for the wonderful opportunity that Development Hub gave me to bring my dreams into technology. I really appreciate that. AWS for their support, and then for a surprise visit by the members of National Institute of Professional Account, Namibia Institute of Professional Accountants. Apologies for that. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much to Dr. Ricardo Dames, a good friend of mine. I really appreciate your input and your interest. And then to everybody else who might be, I don't know where in the world, but it's really good to have you here today. Thank you. You may ask the question, what is Accurate Edge? Now, Accurate Edge is an AI-powered business diagnostic and performance intelligence framework that measures how accurately a business is aligned for success. When we developed the product, we had to look at redefining, and it was literally bringing theory into technology. We had to redefine success. And the way that I did it was that many companies still rely on financials. They rely on lag indicators, profit, revenue, cash flow, the outcomes of past actions. Now, traditional dashboards miss qualitative intelligence, things like sales pipeline strength, customer sentiment, process efficiency, to forecast what's likely to happen next. These are the precursors of the future. These fragmented systems prevent a single view outcome, which predict the future of a business. Now, Accurate Edge identifies a gap and bridges it by combining both quantitative and qualitative dimensions into one model. In the past, as I said, I like business rescue and I like business turnaround, but I had to look at it very carefully. How do we go from rescue to resilience? The new measurement mindset. Traditionally, turnaround implies reactive recovery, stabilizing a struggling business after failure signals appear. It focuses on possible short-term survival, cut cost, restructure debt, fix what's broken. But from a trajectory perspective, on the other hand, it's proactive and predictive. It's about shaping the future direction and acceleration of a business. And this is where we use data, leadership, insight to build momentum towards sustained growth. It's no longer about saving a business. It's about designing its ascent. Now, that's the premise of Accurate Edge. That's where we start. The very metrics that once revealed distress now illuminate potential. The line between failure and growth is timing, and measurement makes it visible. Accurate Edge operationalizes this idea. It uses the same multidimensional signals that once predicted failure and turns them into early indicators of growth potential. Now, success is not just profit, it's not just share price, it is alignment, it's agility, it's integrity. All these factors together. In the past, business looked for outward to share price, profit, growth alone, but these reflections of perception, not performance truth. Accurate Edge measures what's happening inside the business and fuses them into one measurable indicator. Developed through 5 years of doctoral research on top performing enterprises, it captures what the market can't always see, the internal intelligence that drives sustained success. Accurate Edge defines success as the integration of qualitative insight, quantitative evidence, and integrity, reflected in the level of alignment between how leaders think and how results perform. When misalignment exists, we see increased risk and declining growth as the early warning signals that traditionally metrics miss. Success is equal to performance plus growth plus risk or integrity risk. It measured together with qualitative, quantitative, integrity, intelligence. Now, how do we connect the framework to impact? How do we make it work? First of all, Accurate Edge, or if you look at it from a framework perspective, Accurate Edge combines diagnostic questions, financial ratio analysis, and integrity checks to generate an overall Edge index score. Works across the business life cycle. It could be for a startup, it could be for health checks, turnaround, for acquisition, vendor, post-merger. It's not just a measurement tool, but a management compass. Now, the framework quantifies qualitative insight and organizes business health into 5 core pillars, namely vision, strategy and market position, leadership and governance, customer and growth performance, operational effectiveness, and then, of course, financial stability and efficiency. And each of these 5 pillars gives us a snapshot of the current performance. Accurate Edge also measures momentum, the rate and direction of change across those pillars, showing whether the business is moving toward resilience or decline. Accurate Edge quantifies financial health through a structured ratio and KPI library, grouped into 4 key dimensions. Liquidity, that's the ability to meet short-term obligations. Profitability, efficiency in generating returns. Efficiency, how well resources are utilized. Leverage and risk, long-term sustainability and exposure. These ratios provide the objective evidence behind business performance, revealing strengths, resilience, and trends that perception alone cannot detect. Quantitative insight forms the second pillar of the H index, adding a financial proof to qualitative narratives. Together, these metrics show the financial trajectory, resilience, and efficiency of the business, the hard data behind the story. The third component of the framework is the H index. Now, integrity risk is one of the most powerful elements inside Accurate H. It's not only about compliance, it's about truth. Every business has a narrative, a storyline, what leadership says, what teams believe, what they report. But the numbers often tell a different story. Integrity risk is a layer that checks whether the narrative and evidence align. We compare qualitative responses, the perceptions, the confidence, the claims, with the quantitative results, such as margins, retention, cash conversion, and financial stability. Where these contradict each other, we pick up integrity gaps. These are not ethical concerns only, they are alignment concerns, the early signals of decline or hidden vulnerability. H index acts as a single success metric that merges strategic, financial, and behavioral data. Integrity risk is a truth layer that makes business health measurable and future oriented. If you look at it from a performance reimagined perspective, performance is more than just productivity. Performance is not just about output, it's about consistency, it's about capability, it's about the value creation of that business. Accurate Edge links performance indicators to Lean Six Sigma metrics, connecting process maturity and leadership discipline with measurable financial outcomes. It evaluates customer value delivery, resource efficiency, culture performance alignment. The result, a performance integrity score that connects numbers to behavior. If you look at it from a growth intelligence perspective or the H index intelligence layer, then sustainable growth is not an accident. It emerges when readiness and scalability align, when the organization's capacity to deliver matches its ambition to expand. Accurate Edge tracks growth factors including market opportunity clarity, product service lifecycle health, innovation, R&D capacity, talent scalability, digital maturity, and these data points allow AI to assess whether growth is sustainable or overstretched. By linking growth readiness to the H index, the system identifies which businesses are poised to accelerate successfully. How do we link risk, performance, and growth? Accurate Edge redefines success by measuring not just outcomes, but the balance between risk mitigation, performance delivery, and growth readiness. The three forces interact across the qualitative, quantitative, and integrity dimensions, forming one predictive composite, namely the H index. Risk profile provides early warning by detecting weak signals from organizational practices and decisions. Performance measures execution quality, linking numbers to operational outcomes. Growth evaluates future potential, The higher the integrity alignment, the more credible the path to the growth. Combined, they form the H index composite score. Now we're talking a lot of perhaps theory, and yes, it is theory. Um, the first point, we address the things or the different components of accurate edge, but I would like to show you the heart of the first point of decline that we pick up. Now, the first point of decline is rarely visible on traditional financial dashboards. Yes, yet it is most critical moment in the business life cycle. This is when the internal truth of the organization begins to diverge from its external performance. The H index and integrity risk curves reveal the total or turning point long before sales opportunity decline. At this stage, the business still appears healthy from the outside, but inside it's losing its alignment, it's losing discipline, or it could be capability, creating the earliest detectable signal that decline has begun. So if you look at it at the top business life cycle, which is the normal uh, bell curve, you do have the pre-startup, valley of death, pivot, opportunity, efficiency. There are different things like the profit. You can get a company from the valley of death into a profit margin. Um, but it's the one that we are very interested is the one on the right hand side. Um, the first point of decline is when alignment breaks between qualitative performance, quantitative results, and integrity signals. The edge curve turns downward, and this is where we've got it over here. It's the start of decline, and the edge curve comes down. And at this point, integrity risk begins to rise. And that's the one at the bottom, the red line. Um, that's where the misalignment comes in. Integrity begins to rise. Sales may still be stable. Opportunity may still be high. But internally, the business loses capability. It could be discipline. It could be relevance and traction. From a framework to impact, how do we use this? How do we use accurate edge in the business? Accurate edge systems creates measurable impact across key user groups. For entrepreneurs, they can use the tool to uncover blind spots. They validate readiness. If they want to start up a company, are we really ready to go into this venture? And they can build investor confidence before scaling. That is where they might need funding to be able to take the company into the market. Large organizations and or corporates, they can use the application through applying the framework across divisions, regions, or branches. Um, we believe that the H index is going to show if there's a mismanagement between or misalignment between performance consistency, detect systemic weaknesses, track cultural operational alignment across the enterprise. And then, of course, from an advisor and coach perspective, apply structured diagnostics to guide at interventions, measure progress, and demonstrate advisory value. Institutions, development agencies evaluate enterprise portfolios, track ecosystem performance, and prioritize support for high potential businesses, investors and acquisition, use in unified score to assess risks, valuation, scalability potential during due diligence. There are a number of tools that we developed in the tool to be able to bring all this to fruition. First of all, of course, it's all about the integrity analytics. Um, Integrity, the missing dimension of business measurement. Integrity analytics validates whether what a business claims aligns with what its data proves. Compares qualitative statement. We may say in the business, we manage cash flow well, but yet the outcome of this cash flow to debt could be, or the liquidity ratio can tell a different story. There might be discrepancies that lowers the integrity index, flagging possible mismanagement, oversight, or even dishonesty. Each mismatch lowers the integrity index and adjusts the edge index accordingly. This capability provides early warning for advisors and investors, confidence for institutions, or self-correction insight for business owners. Then, of course, we do have the dashboards, decision intelligence. So far, we've seen how Accurate Edge can integrate structure, data, and intelligence to define success in measurable terms. And that is the Edge index. But the real value of any system lies beyond measurement. It lies in what we do with the insights. That's where Accurate Edge shifts from tools to transformation, converting analysis into action, impact, continuous improvement. Accurate Edge transforms data into action through intelligent dashboards. Custom dashboards show category and subcategory scores, trend analysis, integrity alerts, AI recommendations, benchmark comparisons. Decision making can filter by phase: startup, health, turnaround, acquisition, vendors. It provides advisor impact tracking and trend line, visibility across assessments. The advisor that I'm using, is he the right person to be able to lead my company? If I look at the impact of the actions, can we measure that? Yes, we can. So if an advisor does give advice, is it really impacting my business positively? And we can measure this. Then, of course, it's all about the learning loop. How can we take the learning loop and not only assess, but develop continuous improvement? Each assessment doesn't end with the report, it feeds back into the ecosystem, improving business understanding, advisory effectiveness, national enterprise benchmarks. Now, yes, I do think big when we come to this. I do believe that it can be used nationally. I do believe the system can be used internationally. Business learn from their own data, trend analysis. Advisors learn from aggregated insights across clients. Institutions learn from sector-wide patterns and anomalies. This closed-loop learning process reflects the following cycle: assess, analyze, improve, reassess. And I think those of you who are familiar with Lean Six Sigma, that's typical process that one can follow. So the Accurate Edge is very key, can be a very key player when you get from a problem area that you can highlight right through to statistical analysis. The statistical analysis, though, is something outside of Accurate Edge, but the inside is all process driven. It enables living knowledge base that evolves with every use. When these learning loops connect across multiple participants, we see the emergence of ecosystem intelligence. Accurate Edge is more than a software solution. It's a knowledge ecosystem that connects stakeholders through data-driven insight. Entrepreneurs get clarity on where to improve. Advisors get validated diagnostics and training intelligence. Universities get data for curriculum refinement. Banks, investors gain risk-adjusted business profiles. Government and agencies, they get macro-level data for policymaking, SME support design. It creates a data to development pipeline. Benchmarking and continuous improvement. Even though we're not benchmarking at this stage, we do not have all the information available yet, but the tool can be used for benchmarking, which can transform from a diagnostic system into a national intelligence infrastructure. Every accurate edge assessment contributes anonymized data to sector benchmarks. This allows businesses to compare performance across regions, size, life cycle stages. AI highlights top quartile characteristics, success patterns, bottom quartile weaknesses, failure triggers. And then AI then highlights success patterns and failure triggers, allowing advisors and policymakers to pinpoint where intervention has the most impact. Over time, this becomes a living knowledge engine for enterprise development. If we look at it from a real world impact, from insight to action, what Accurate Edge delivers. The real power of Accurate Edge is not measurement, it's transformation. It's connect diagnosis to disciplined action, enabling turnaround that's visible in both performance and culture. For example, if we take a regional managing or manufacturing firm struggling with declining sales and poor cash from flow or cash flow, underwent an Accurate Edge assessment, impact narrative from insight to the impact. You've got the assessment on the left-hand side, Accurate Edge diagnostic assessment. It reveals the hidden performance gaps across leadership, operations, and finance. And then you've got the alignment in the center, alignment between the operational efficiency and leadership focus. That's where we take action. 28% performance gap to data-driven management. And then the impact, profitability, on-time delivery, decision quality. Now, this is just a case study, perhaps, but this is what we can do. From an advisor and institutional impact perspective, Accurate Edge creates a unified intelligent layer for advisors, institutes, and development partners. It tracks measurable progress through edge trend reports using real-time data to validate impact and justify interventions. Is it really necessary to make the changes in the business? And that's the type of trend that we want to be able to pick up. Training centers and universities, they can do refined curricula. Institutions, development agencies, AI-driven analytics generate performance certificates and impact ratings for advisors, forming foundation of a standardized business advisory metric system for South Africa and beyond. You may ask the question, what is the future of measurement? We do believe at Accurate Edge, it's a real one with the incorporation of AI. Artificial intelligence is an analytical brain that learns from every assessment, identifying risks, correlations, opportunities invisible to the human eye. AI analyzes thousands of quantitative combinations. It recognizes patterns that distinguish successful firms from those at risk. This continuous learning will allow Accurate Edge to improve its predictive power, with every new assessment entered. Generates or says, generates predictive insights such as probability of turnaround success, benchmark deviations by industry, correlation between leadership, discipline, and financial resilience. It enables advisory guidance for entrepreneurs and consultants. And this is the picture that really keeps me awake. It doesn't want me to sleep at night. Because this is really where the real benefit of Accurate Edge is. We've seen how Accurate Edge transforms businesses today, turning diagnostics into measurable improvement. But what happens next is even more powerful. As data grows and intelligence increase, we're not just measuring performance, we're predicting it. And this is where the future of measurement begins. The edge opportunity curve visualizes, and this is the curve on the right-hand side. You can see it visualizes how businesses move from validation through traction, efficiency, to the resilience and transition. AI predicts where corporate company sits on this curve and how likely it is to survive or grow. And by integrating opportunity, capability, and risk, Accurate Edge transforms diagnostics into foresight, anticipating challenges before they occur. Why does it matter? Refining how we understand success. Success has always been described, rarely measured. Accurate Edge redefines success as something we can understand, predict, replicate. Startups identify readiness, resilience, founder market fit long before financial traction appears. For universities, track entrepreneurial capability development and predict future business success during work integrated learning programs. Accelerators, incubators, they can use it for benchmarking participant progress, evaluate advisor impact, predict which ventures will scale or require intervention. Corporate and institutional ecosystems anticipate risk or growth trends across divisions, branches, or supplier networks using predictive intelligence. The closing call to action. We would like you to join the movement. Measurement success with accuracy. Accurate Edge is more than a tool, it's a shift in thinking. We invite partners, universities, research centers, development agencies to collaborate in advancing predictive business intelligence and entrepreneurial resilience. The future vision, AI-powered business resilience for every SME. If we can look at all the thousands of companies failing at this stage, thousands of companies, startups who doesn't make it, who can't make it. So many companies where there's corruption. So many companies where the countries are losing billions. How do we pick it up? That is the future that I'm looking at. And that is what we want to do with the AI-driven application. In closing, in a world full of assumptions, accuracy is an advantage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc. So, as the guys that are looking over the streams, right, we're getting a lot of requests of people saying, show us at least one thing. And we've asked this beautiful young gentleman to just log in and you explain one concept. Leander, please.
Oh,
Yeah. He's just gonna
right.
log in. And yeah. Let's answer to the people talk. They want to see what's happening. Then Onele is gonna open questions.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, it's visible. So yeah, Doc, we just want you to help the people understand what is this, what happened for us to be here, and who is this person looking into this thing, and what better data-driven decisions does this kind of information allow one to be able to make? Thank you.
Okay, so you're asking the question about where we are and how do we get here? I think over the last most probably 10, 15 years or so, I had a problem with the how do I bring things together, especially when it comes to consulting, business consulting. I come from a background, perhaps from the qualitative perspective, um, and I had to bring together the financials. The tools that I could get was very much focused on qualitative. And then I had to sit with quantitative. Um, and then in the same time, from a study perspective, my PhD showed that there's a distinct difference between successful companies and unsuccessful companies, those poor performers. My studies was focused on uh, the development of a success factor, qualitative success factor profile of a company. And I wanted to be able to measure a qualitative success factor profile. What does it look like? Not only the qualitative success factor, but quantitative. How do I bring it together into one? And that is what we want to do with this one. The questions that it's the questionnaires that we go through. First of all, we do set up. There are two components to the product. The one is from an administrative perspective. So yes, we can use it from or we set up in the administration side all the things that drive um, the application, and that is where we look at things like I'm going to open this one. This is on the application side. So we look at the things, it is admin. So we look at things like, I just want to scroll down here. I just want to scroll down. Oh, this is all about technology again. Two fingers. Okay. So there are different categories that we use. We look at the different ratio types. Now, the way that it's structured, it doesn't matter what type of ratio we use. It's all about a framework. We can develop any type of ratio within an organization. So the application is very, very flexible, the way that we can use it. Any ratio, if you can do a plus and minus calculation, then you can set up the formulas. It's very, very easily structured to be able to use. So there are different ratio types, for instance. Cash flow health, cash flow, we can look at percentages, currency. It doesn't matter what the unit is. We can look at culture and people engagement, customer experience, the stress and turnaround readiness, efficiency, financial stability. And as I say, these things are absolutely, it's two fingers. Financial stability, these are all set up ratios. Human resources, these are the KPIs that we look at. So the heart of the business is not only the application, but the heart of what drives this tool forward is the way that we structure our questions. So on the one side, you've got the ratios, which can be almost, I don't want to say unlimited, but the way that if you can do a ratio within a KPI, you can measure it. And that's what we wanted to achieve. And then from a category perspective, we do have quite a number of different categories in here. Subcategories, I identified about 120 different subcategories that one can measure. KPIs, quite a number of them as well. Okay, not lorem ipsum. And then, of course, there are about, even though there are more than 1,000 different questions in here, it can be any question relevant. We can change it relevant to the company. If we look at the questionnaires, the way that I structured it is very much based on business turnaround. I've got a license for business rescue, but I don't want to do it. I want to be able to take a company and through predictions, assist the company that they can get to a place of where that edge index is not in a risky position, but can grow. We do have different evaluations that we set up, quite a number of them. It could be that from that perspective, there are things like approximately 50 deep dive assessments. Yes.
Yes, Doc. So there's two people that have left messages for you here on the chat box. We have Angel's Keeper, who is greeting you this morning.
Oh, my friend Ricardo.
Yes, and then we also have Ricardo Domes. He is saying, we will check out demo later. Well done on hitting the M&E pains on the head for us as ESD practitioners.
Oh, wonderful. Now, if Ricardo says that, I believe it. Because Ricardo is somebody who really understands the needs and the requirements of entrepreneurs. He lives entrepreneurs. He lives Ricardo lives to make change in the lives of others. So I really thank you for that, Ricardo. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Then we've got evaluations, and then one of the things that we built in is a coach and candidate perspective. Now we might get people or business advisors. There are many business coaches. They come to you and say, "I can do this." Now I say, "Prove it." Yes, it's a critical step for a business advisor to come into a company because you offer or you put your heart on the table when a business advisor comes in. And we can do mirror questionnaires, for instance. That is where we look at the coach, we look at the candidate, and we say this coach or this business advisor, he can be aligned with this company or with this group of students. Should it be for a university, for instance? So we can measure that upfront so that if you start a program, if you start an intervention, then you know that this business advisor can do it for you. I believe we might be out of time. I just want to say thank you very, very, very much for this opportunity. For me, it was a dream, but it's not a dream anymore. I want to be able to plow back into my economy, but not only into our country's economy. It could be global. The product is going to be, or the application is going to be in the cloud. It can be used whether it is in South Africa, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in Europe or Asia, is irrelevant where it is. And that is what we want to achieve with the tool. We want to touch the lives of companies. We want to touch the lives of hard-working entrepreneurs, but also companies who have been in the business for a long time. We want to bring together the accountant with a business advisor so that they speak the same language. And that can be done through the H Index. Nelly, thank you so much for this opportunity. It was wonderful for me to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much, Doc, and thank you everyone for joining us today in today's session. We really appreciate you taking time and being with us in this session. So if you have any questions or you'd like to book a demo like the gentleman mentioned in the chat box, you can email doc at andrewdupree@psyquapro.com, or you can get in touch with me and then I'll connect you with Doc. My email address is onele@developmenthub.co.za. I'm the PRO for Development Hub, or you can send me a message or phone me at 073 11 31 317. We are also available across all social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and many others. And on social media platforms, we are Development Hub. It's one word, Development Hub. Also, do check us out on our website where you will get to learn more about the work that we do and the products that we have innovated. So online we are www.developmenthub.co.za. Thank you very much for joining us. Without wasting any more time, goodbye.